There once was a tactic that completely broke the game. Some went so far to say it was actually a cheat and it ruined the entire game. Championship Manager 0304 was never the same, that's for sure. That's right, folks. Today we investigate the Diablo Tactic and see if it will indeed work in Football Manager 2024. So straight in then, we're going to try and recreate what we see above my head into Football Manager 2024. The shape won't be a problem. The results and getting it extreme like Diablo did, that's going to be the hard part. Now for reference, I found this YouTube channel, which I will put the link down below in. He does retro stuff, and he's actually built this tactic from scratch in that version of CM. So we're going to try and use that version to build our version. So this is the channel, Love CM3. So go and drop yourself a little subscription over there, and then you might get some ideas for new tactics for FM24. But what he has done is he's built this tactic from scratch using the team instructions that they had in CM03. This first image you're seeing there is the old school team instructions from CM0304. I don't think it's going to be too tricky to replicate parts of that in FM. So if you look at the passing, first of all, it's got in possession, it's shorter passing. Focus play down both flanks, we can manage that pretty comfortably. This bit's the interesting bit. Mentality is gung-ho. So translating that to FM24 will mean that's going to be very attacking. Okay.
A few minutes later.
So I went away and added in the team instructions down that, and it translates to something like that. I think that's as best as I'm going to get it. Now, what's interesting in the old CM03 was that the player instructions were a bit more detailed. Check it. So I followed the video because it's got all the player instructions for that version, and it looks something like this. This is an example of the right back. You can see loads of instructions, but here we are. This is what happens when we try and recreate something from 20 years ago. I've got take more risks because he's got this fullback trying through balls. We've got dribbling more because he's running with the ball. He's got closing down standoff, so we'll close down less, tackling hard. We've gone through that for each position. But of course, the most important thing is to get the shape. So let's just pop that in now. So we've got a defensive midfielder jumping into the defensive midfield slot there. This central midfielder, the key man, is going in there. Then you've got two up front. So it's a pretty basic shape. We've got our team instructions. We've got our shape. We just need to get the roles sorted now. And it's meant we've came up with this. This is the Diablo 24, and this is the version we're going to rock with Real Sociedad. Played a few games with it, and you can probably see in the top corner we're first at the minute. I'll show you in a minute. But that's the central midfielder on attack who's going to bomb in there. Let's get the Diablo tactic up so you can have a look and compare. So that's the way it looks. You can see the very attacking mentality, which does make me a little bit nervous, I won't lie, especially in a league like La Liga. He's the focal point. Now, to facilitate him being the focal point, our two advanced forwards, who already run the channels, be the role that it is, but we're going to add some play instructions so they get a bit wider and like split and let him just bomb on through. So there you see it. Both advanced forwards take more risks, stay wider, and they've got marked tighter because they actually had the man marking in the Diablo version. So hopefully that works. The central midfielder is going to dribble more, shoot more often. And then we've got pretty limited team instructions, nothing crazy. Much higher defensive line because they play the offside trap, and you've got much more often because they did massive pressing. Even back in the day, they did massive pressing. The first clutch of games was successful. Pre-season was amazing. Then we won 5-2 at Real Betis, Bilbao, Valladolid, Leganes, but most impressive yet was this one against Barcelona. As you can see, their boys won 2-0, and it was pretty comfy against a really good Barcelona team. So the goals, it was interesting. We've got the focus play down the left and right, and you can see we're nice and wide, and more interestingly, Sadiq is one of the advanced forwards, and he is already breaking wide. So I'm hoping that means he's going to bring the gaps. There he goes. And then you can see in the middle, Sukic is our central midfielder on attack. He's supposed to be the key to this entire formation, and he's filling the gap that Sadiq's left. So that looks promising. But it's a great start, but it's a long old season, so let's see how they do with the very attacking Diablo 24. So we had some great results through the season. We beat Atletico away, and a superb 1-1 draw away at Barcelona. And we even finished the season with a home win against mighty Real Madrid. And that meant we finished a very impressive third place, just behind the big two, only losing the 7 matches. So I'm really happy with that. I would have took that at the start of the season if you offered me it. Third place, best of the rest, behind Barcelona and Real Madrid, and we also beat both teams as well. Pretty impressive stuff. So a bit of a good result that. I did not expect them to finish that high up. Very attacking. Obviously not game breaking like Championship Manager, but not bad at all. And the position, what the tactic is built around, central midfield attack, Sukic played there most of the time, and he did indeed score 16 times, so it did the job. All these tactics will be in Patreon, but if I was to improve this, I would probably obviously drop this down to balanced or positive. And then you got to look at, are you too exposed wide? If you're too exposed wide, you could change one or maybe two of these guys into inverted wing backs, maybe on defend, just so they sit alongside your central midfielder. But yeah, not bad at all, not bad at all. Let's go. So I did promise another one from this era, and it's a bit more unorthodox in terms of shape. So let's have a look at Scramjet. I mean, in theory, I like it. You've got two wide strikers, one starting wide and coming in, and one starting in and going wide. I mean, let's try and recreate the shape first. So I quickly went and done that, and there you can see my initial thoughts on the shape. I haven't touched the team instructions, that's just a template. But at the minute, so what I'm thinking is that that will replicate the Macaulay Road. So he'll come in there like that. This will be that Del Piero they've got there, so he goes a bit wider. We can also add the player instruction of stay wider. We'll have a play around with it, and then we'll have a look at the team instructions on Scramjet from our friend's channel again. So team instructions are different from last time. The focus passing is still the same. The mentality is still the same, but we've got a couple of different things in terms of passing, and it doesn't look like there's an offside trap either. Right, I've got away. I've worked hard at this one. This one was hard to master, so you can see the weird shape we've got going, and most of the shape and the instructions come from these player instructions here. On the screen there, you've got the right-hand side winger. So I've tried to replicate as best I can. You can see he's got shorter passing, so we brought in passing shorter. He's got hold-up ball tick, so we've brought that in. He's got close down always and tackle harder. So we've gone through all of the different positions to do that. They're all on the video. For example, that's the sweeper, the guy at the centre back. You can see he's got closing down standoff, so we simply just close down less. So he's the cover sweeper. And that is the holding midfielder, so he's got passing mixed, but he's also got tick to try through balls, so we bring in take more risks, and he's also got tackling harder. So we've done that for the entire team, and we've came up with our version of the Scramjet tactic that was devastating in CM03-04. Now, for the life of me, I can't see this one going well for a few reasons. The first is there's going to be no counter and there's going to be a low block. So how that's going to work together when we've got a low block, but then we can't just immediately counter, I'm not sure. Now, if the first game of the season's anything to go by, this could be an interesting ride, this one. So they absolutely battered Real Betis, but somehow it was only 3-2. Intrigued by the average positions, it was nice to see that with the ball, we did have somewhat of a front three that mirrored what we were trying to achieve. Question is, how will the very attacking mentality go down with the low block? Let's find out. As expected, this was a wild ride. Here we are at Valencia with a last-minute winner. So we've had a 5-4 away from home, and here's a 5-5 as well. We attack away from home like no tomorrow. Safe to say they've taken a little while to get used to this, but in December, there are just a little sign of a turnaround. So as expected, this tactic was outrageous. There were some highs, such as beating Atletico again at home, but a couple of lows as well. Yeah. It's safe to say that if you went to watch one of our matches, you were very entertained. And we did finish 10th in the league, which isn't the massive disaster that I was expecting. And you can see where the problems lie. In the 38 matches, we did score nearly 2 a match, but we also conceded 80, which is the worst in La Liga. See, part of me wants to make a version of Scramjet which will actually work in FM24's engine, because I kind of like, in a weird way, the messed up setup. So that's what I did, and I had some good results against teams like Barcelona, and we even beat Chelsea in Europe. We had a better season overall, finished 6th with this version, and I sorted out the defence a little bit, still conceded 66, but a lot better. There was just a few changes in defence and team instructions, but yeah, my challenge to you is get yourself a successful working version of Scramjet. If you manage it, let me know how you do.